Hello and welcome to another edition of the all-new Rock Sound podcast. I'm your host, James Wilson Taylor, and coming up this week, we have a chat with Alex Gaskarth of All Time Low. The band have, course, just dropped two brand new singles recently. You got Birthday and you've got Everything Is Fine. We talk about that, some of the new sound, what that means for the future of All Time Low, and look back at the end of the Last Young Renegade era. Really great chat with him coming up. And as if that wasn't enough, two other sets of amazing guests as well. Coming up, playing this week's game of Translate the Lyric, where we take a band's lyrics, put them through Google Translate, and they've got to figure out which song it is. It's Patty and Ben from As It Is, and As It Is are, of course, on the cover of this month's edition of Rock Sound. You can get it right now over at shop.rocksound.tv. It's their first ever magazine cover. There's an exclusive new interview in there all about their new album, The Great Depression, and you can grab bundles as well. There's the Poet Bundle and the Crash Bundle. We've got pins, we've got signed merch. It's fantastic. Go and check it out right now, shop.rocksound.tv. And wrapping up this week's episode will be the Australian band known as the Faim. You might have seen our interviews with them over on YouTube recently. They've had some great singles with Summer Is a Curse and Midland Line. You might have also seen them on the festival circuit. They will be playing this week's game of First Time Last Time and delivering this week's Mini Mixtape, so stick around for that. But before we get to any of that, let's kick things off with, from All Time Low, Mr. Alex Gaskarth. We are back on the Rock Sound podcast. My guest today, the frontman of All Time Low, two new songs just dropped. Alex Gaskarth with me. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm doing well, very well.
Good, man. Nice to chat to you. This is an exciting time. I mean, two new tracks seemingly dropping out of nowhere, hip-hop SoundCloud style. What was the thinking behind that? Where have these come from?
That was it. That was the thinking. It was like everybody's doing it in this like fun, spontaneous way, and nothing feels more All Time Low than kind of doing things off the cuff. And so, yeah, we jumped on board with that ideology of like, why not just put a song out, you know? So that's kind of where we were at with it. And it was, it's proved to be very exciting because I think, you know, we thought about doing like the deluxe album or something like that, being that we were kind of a year removed from Last Young Renegade, but it just didn't kind of feel like it fit the vibe of the record. Like the new stuff we were writing and creating just kind of, it didn't gel. And I think Last Young Renegade really kind of set itself apart as it's a very self-contained thing. It was very much its own thing. It was sort of the first concept-y kind of record that All Time Low had ever done. And so we sort of didn't want to tarnish it by like trying to tack on other songs connected to it, I guess. But, you know, like I said, we kind of had written and recorded these really fun sort of summery vibe songs, and it felt like the right time to put those out. So we just kind of, we dropped them, and it seems to have been like the best way we could have done it.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's definitely cool, like I say, to see a band doing that, because we normally associate with hip hop, but you're right. Why not do it as a band? It kind of makes perfect sense. It's really cool.
And just in general, I think that, you know, the music world is that's kind of where it's at. And I think, you know, hip hop, EDM, pop was all kind of ahead of the game on doing it. And, you know, as a rock band, why not? Why not get in on the fun?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you alluded to there, you've already said Last Young Renegade, that's the era over. So before we get onto the new stuff, how do you think it all went? You know, we loved the album. How do you look back on it now that it's in the rear view?
It was awesome. I think it was really one of the coolest records. I mean, obviously I'm biased because I'm in the band, but I think it was one of the coolest records we've ever made. So I think, you know, it was, to get to make an album like that, to get a little bit different, to go a little bit experimental and change our sound up a little bit and change the lyrical content and the themes up a little bit was really exciting to do this far down the line. And I think, yeah, it took people on a journey. And it was, you know, we're just super grateful that people came along for the ride, because I think anytime you do something like that and kind of shake up the fan base a little bit, it's a little scary. I won't lie. So it was really rad that people kind of wrapped their heads around it with us and got on board and came along for the journey. It was a fun touring year as well, because it really, like, that album really rounded out the live show.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the live show, of course, last time we saw in the UK, you were doing So Wrong It's Right as well in the big arena shows. And what's kind of interesting is these new tracks, you've already said elsewhere that it's got the kind of energy of your older sound, but with the production and elements of the new stuff. Was revisiting the So Wrong It's Right stuff any influence on the newer material?
I have to think so. I mean, maybe not consciously, but definitely, looking at it now, I think, going back and playing those songs with all that energy and seeing those rooms and people's reactions, it definitely, it reminded us of why, high gain and distortion and tempo was kind of our bread and butter. And it's still a blast when we do it now. So yeah, I mean, it kind of, it was definitely a subconscious full circle moment, if nothing else.
Nice, man. It's exciting. All right, let's talk about the track. Let's start with Everything Is Fine. I mean, there's an argument to be made that this is maybe All Time Low's first ever political song. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I always get a little sketchy when it comes to did you write a political song? It's I don't think we're trying to force anything down anybody's throats here, but it's no secret that the world has felt like it's a little bit on fire lately. And, I think this was kind of just my response to that. It's kind of, the song itself is about, I think, just bad news overload. And, it's kind of the two elements explored on the song are kind of the juxtaposition between the verses and the chorus. And the verses are very much like the harsh reality of what's going on and what we wake up and see and consume every day. And then the chorus is kind of the complete other side of the coin where it's nope, I am going back to bed. I'm ignoring all this. I'm going to turn my music up and say, fuck you to all of it. And I think it's, I think what it does and what's cool about the song is it's not really, it's not really saying that either way is the right way to deal with it. I think we all deal with the drama our own way. And I think what's important is that as long as you get through it, everything's going to be all right. And that's kind of, that song was my way of realizing that.
Yeah, nice message, man. And that's clearly, I mean, it's very clear that's where the lyrical idea kind of came from. Was this a riff you kind of had kicking around? How did it all kind of come together in the studio for you?
We sort of I had the lyric and the content and the idea, and then it just kind of felt like, the sound and the song itself kind of came from just experimenting in the studio. We sort of had been kicking around a bunch of ideas and I really, what it was it just felt like it had been a little while since we'd written a, kind of a double time, let's go out and rage kind of song musically. And that's really where we tackled, that was the approach. It was let's write one, for the kids in the mosh pit. And it, it kind of all came together.
Nice, man. All right, and let's talk about the other one as well, Birthday. First of all, what a way to reveal that you've got a new track, sending birthday cakes out to fans with hidden song links and all this stuff. Whose idea was that one then?
I don't know. I can't fully take credit for it, but I guess it was my idea. But it was, it was just it just kind of felt fun. And again, going back to this idea of there's no right way to release music anymore. So it was really just kind of reflecting on that. It was well, if we're going to drop this song, let's do it in a way that is super left of center and unexpected. And that kind of just seemed like the perfect, layup. It was, you got a song called Birthday, why not play off that?
Yeah.
So it was, it was super fun. And it was really cool to see, the kids that we sent cakes to, genuinely dumbfounded, just what the hell is going on? Because it was unannounced, I think people had no idea. They got a cake and it said Love All Time Low. And people are like, what? I think I would, if a band or anyone sent me a cake out of nowhere, I'd be confused. And I think that definitely happened, which was pretty cool. So it was fun to see people's reactions and yeah, it was a really fun way to kind of get the song out there to people. Yeah,
all very, very cool, man. I saw you said as well that in terms of the lyric on this one, you kind of had it in your phone notes for a very, very long time. So what was it about that particular lyric that was sticking with you so much?
Honestly, it was that I thought it was too dumb to be in a song ever. I wrote down, I want you in the worst way. I need you like cake on my birthday. And something about the simplicity of it. It was one of those moments where I was like, this is either awesome or the stupidest thing I've ever written. And I struggled with that for a long time. It just sat there in my notes. And every time a song idea came up, I would be like, do I try this one? And, I was always just kind of too afraid to go there. But then, kind of like what happens with songwriting, it's the right sonic landscape comes along. And it did in the form of, the birthday track. And it was like, okay, this song feels quirky enough to carry this lyric and actually just like support it in a way that would make the lyric rule. So yeah, it kind of it was the perfect storm. It all came together and it just felt right.
Yeah, nice, man. And musically as well, I guess a lot of people have already said it's kind of got a little bit of a almost throwback kind of 90s vibe to it. I mean, were there any artists you had in mind that were kind of inspiring the sound of this particular one?
100%. I mean, I think it was very much, kind of a 90s take. I think a big part of that stems from the tape drum loop that we started writing the song around, which is what you hear in the intro of the song. It was built around kind of a sample that was, I think, straight up like off a 90s tape drum machine. And, I think that lends a lot of that sonic palette to the song, and it kind of takes it into that world. And then, yeah, I mean, it was sort of, there's a little bit of Beck on there. There's a little bit of Alanis Morissette on there and, notes of it, I guess. And it was kind of the stuff I was listening to at the time. So I think some of that definitely spilled over into what we were doing when we were in the room.
Awesome, man. And I these two tracks, they're really nice companion pieces to each other. And it's really, really exciting to hear what you guys are going to do next. How do you think this plays into the future then? How far along are we, do you think?
There's a lot of music kicking around. I will say that. I mean, I'm not sure, what form it's going to take yet. I don't know if it's going to be, an album or if we're just going to kind of keep kicking around these like soft releases, so to speak, of like, the way I looked at this one was kind of like, the old 7-inch vinyls where you put out like an A-side and a B-side, from back in the day. And it was kind of, like, it was kind of a funny juxtaposition of saying like, okay, this is like how the new school is releasing music. It's just people drop singles and that's where we're at. But it's kind of fun to look at it like it almost reflects what was happening in the 60s and the 70s when people were putting out a single with a B-side. And we kind of channeled a bit of that. We if you look on, I think it's on Spotify, but it like, we called it Everything's Fine on Your Birthday. And it's kind of just like, it's this standalone little piece. So that seems really fun, and maybe we'll keep doing that for now. Or maybe this is building towards an album. But what I love is that there's no pressure. Like, it's really fun as a band in this day and age to kind of be able to think about it in the moment. We're not necessarily committed to putting out 16 songs now. It's just like, hey, let's see how this goes. And we can kind of pivot and have fun with it based on, what people are feeling, what we're feeling. And, it's fun to have that flexibility.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to see what you guys do next. Last question I have for you, of course. How's it been going down live, man? How are these tunes going down for you?
So rad. We have not gotten the chance to play Birthday yet, but that will be coming up shortly when we kick off our U.S. run in August. So I think that song will definitely make its debut there. Everything is fine. We put out the week before we did the 3 Warped Tour shows very intentionally because it felt like a Warped Tour song. And it was a blast to play. I don't think I've ever seen as many crowd surfers at an All Time Low show as I did in Ventura when we played Everything's Fine. It was so nuts.
Awesome, man. It's so good to hear. Alex, it's always a pleasure to chat to you, mate. Looking forward to hearing more new music, all right?
Likewise. Love it. Thanks for having me.
Alex Gaskarth there, and if you want to hear loads of great music, including Birthday by the mighty All Time Low, you should head over to Spotify, guys. Check out the Rock Sound chart. It is updating every single Friday with all the biggest songs from within our world. Go ahead and click subscribe right now over on Spotify. Still to come, Josh and Steven from the Faim will be playing First Time Last Time and delivering this week's Mini Mixtape, so stick around for that. But before we get to that, it's time to check in with As It Is. They are currently on the cover of Rock Sound, so we caught up with Patty and Ben to play a little game we like to call Translate the Lyric. I have taken several As It Is lyrics, I have put them through Google Translate into French, into Italian, into Spanish, into German. They've got to tell me which of their songs it is. So here we go, Patty and Ben, let's meet them now as they try and attempt to translate one of their lyrics from French. Here is that French one for you so you can play along at home. Tout ce que nous partageons sont des tonalités de numération. How was your French, boys? Did you do much French
It
at
used
school?
to be okay.
I got an A star in GCSE, but
Right,
that was a long time ago.
I'll be real. I'm looking at 100% words I don't recognize.
Okay,
so,
well, let's attempt to read out that one. Run me through it. Run me through the sentence. Have a go at reading it. Let's see
I mean, I'm just trying to think of...
like R. That's R or we. Oh, I mean, tonalities. Is it going to be like dial tones?
Well, let's read the whole thing before we get there. So, have a go
all
at the
we
full
ever
thing.
share are dial tones.
I mean, you have got the right answer. That's very, very good. It's impressive.
I'm just hung up on this all thing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking all that you never wanted.
It's true. No, you've got. I think you were right with dial tones at the end. You're very, very, very clever on that. The final couple of words did give it away. Let's be honest with you. Let's try Italian, shall we? Let's read the sentence out. So this, I'm going to butcher this in my Italian, but this is La vita non si gonfia da una piccola la distanza.
Distance.
Yeah. That gives it away at the end there.
Ain't life swell from a pretty little distance.
There we go.
There we
It's gotta be right.
That's 2 out of 2. Piccola la distanza.
Has anybody gotten 100% of these right before?
I'll be honest, no. So let's go for the full 4. Let's see if you can do this. Let's go with number 3. This is nice and German here. What are we thinking?
This is going to be horrendous.
There's not a word in here.
Could you imagine if Foley was doing this? He doesn't even know our songs in English.
In English. Oh no!
It's tricky. It's a tricky
I mean,
one.
I was getting cocky. I was like, "We're too."
I'm gonna butcher this.
Have a stab.
Ich war egoist und ein I don't. That's too long. That word.
I think if you can get the last
Bruder.
word, you're gonna get this one.
Brother, I was selfish and stubborn, a terrible brother.
We've got 3 out of 3, ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen.
for
We're
this
going. I mean, it's like
that was our
clue.
phone a friend.
Ooh, that's very good. Right, final one, Spanish. Can we manage this one?
Todos tenemos la culpa del mundo herido.
Again, if we go for the final...
I said that last word so wrong.
If we go for the final word, I think we might be onto something here.
Final word, you said?
The final word, I think, might be the giveaway.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
Have you got it? Because I don't.
I'm looking at culpa as being like culprit. Is it we're all to blame for the wounded world?
We have 4 out of 4,
You're
ladies
kidding!
and gentlemen.
Well done!
How about that? Top of the leaderboard straight away.
Well done, man.
Very, very well
Culpra.
done. There you go. Maybe in the future, like when you go visit Spain, there's an option. Throw that in.
This is what we know how to say now in these respective countries.
You know, maybe we should bring back, you know when the Beatles used to do like French and Spanish versions of their own songs?
Yeah.
We should bring that and do like a Spanish version of the record.
You can sing this one tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
please
won't,
do.
but I can.
You know how to, and that's good enough.
Exactly.
Patty and Ben, thank you so much, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Don't forget to go and check out this month's Rock Sound, guys. As it is on the front cover, it's their first ever magazine cover, and there's an exclusive new interview in there about the new album called The Great Depression. You can grab bundles as well. There's the Poet Bundle and there's the Crash Bundle featuring signed merchandise and more. Go and check it out right now. shop.rocksound.tv. Right, time for our final guest this week. It is from the Faim, Australia's finest, Josh and Stephen. We chatted to them recently when they were over in the UK to play a little game we call First Time, Last Time. The way it works is I put out a scenario, they tell me the first time they did that thing and the most recent time they did that thing. Plus, make sure you stick around because they will be putting together this week's Mini Mixtape as well for us. Yes, you can go and check that out right now over on Spotify. Just go on Spotify and search for Rock Sound. So let's get to know them a little better, shall we? Here now from the Faim are Josh and Stephen. And we're back on the Rock Sound podcast. Guys, look who it is. It's one half of the Faim. How are you, boys?
Great, my friend. Could not be
Good to
better.
see you. It's really, really nice to see you again. Now, on the Rock Sound podcast, we like to play a few games with people. Are you guys quite competitive on games and stuff?
Very competitive. We are very competitive
I
at
can
games.
see you boys being really into your games. All right, well, this isn't really a competitive one, but it's quite a fun little interview game. This is one called First Time, Last Time. All right, here's how it works. I'm going to say something. You have to tell me the first time you did it and the last time you did it, aka the most recently time you did it. Nice and simple. We got it? We're sorted.
Locked in.
We're sorted. It sounds good. All right, here's the first one. Nice and easy. First gig you went to and the last gig you went to.
The first gig I went to was a Muse show
Nice.
in Perth, and the last gig I went to was the Aussie Barbecue yesterday.
Oh, which you guys were playing at. So does that count? Does that count? Are we going to count your own shows?
Does that count?
All right, okay.
Last one you went to as a fan, but you weren't involved in.
As a fan, that would have to be All Time Low, I think. All Time Low.
Yeah.
Very, very good. How about yourself?
First show was Slipknot.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And last one was Five Sauce, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the most recent run?
I think so, yeah.
Very, very nice.
not a while ago in Australia.
Fair play.
Been a gig in a while.
Yeah, no, it might have... Oh, there's probably another one.
Actually, no, it was Panic at the Disco.
It was Panic at the Disco!
Both I need to change my last answer. My last answer was Panic at the Disco.
How
But
could you
both
both
there.
forget Brendan? That is really...
It was
You know,
because we're so
'cause
transfixed.
I had to
that it
push
was
it out of my
crazy.
brain, because if I think about that guy, I got to go home and practice.
That's it.
Straight up,
the
man.
real inspiration
Oh,
right
dude.
there. All right, that's good. First album you ever bought, last album you ever bought.
The first album I ever bought, oh god, I actually think it was a So Fresh Hits of Spring.
You get those out of cereal
and
boxes.
And it was like 2000 and literally like 2002. I think it was like 5 or something like that.
Nice.
And 2003, just like
Just all the hits of 2000.
oh yeah.
Yes.
And the last album I bought, like physical.
Well, we can go with, if you have one that you physically bought recently, I'll take that. If not, streaming. It is 2018. I accept that this
an
is a
interesting
slightly dated
story.
question.
The last actual like physical copy I bought, we were in LA. This is like last year, and there was these two dudes outside just a shopping center. I got majorly scammed here. They're like, "Hey, you guys look like you're in a band." I'm like, "We are in a band." Oh my god, you're like a psychic. And it was like, "Hey, we're in a band as well. We're like both the same people. We're like, this is our like CD." I'm like, "Sure." It's like that'll be like $10. I'm like, really? $10? But
man.
I didn't. I was like, "Hey,
You were
I'm in,
guilted into
I'm
it
on the
right
other
there.
side of the world, and like I'm gonna support
like, "Hey,
the
man,
scene."
buy our mixtape, bro.
And it was the most interesting rap.
Interesting. That's the word. You know when you say interesting, you are being far too kind. I love that. That's good. How about yourself then? Come on. First album, last album.
First album was, I think, 10,000 Fists by Disturbed. I think that's the name.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. And the last album I actually got, I should have got this a long time ago, but Sawdust by The Killers. I got it on Spotify.
Oh, that is a good record. That is a good record. The
Apple
B-sides record, that one, isn't it? Yeah.
It is a B-side record, but I love it.
No, it's
album.
good. Where the White
album.
Boys dance on that. Very good song.
You know it. I
Shouting it
dance
out. What was the first song you ever learned to play and the most recent song you ever other than your own?
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh man, this is
was
going
also
back.
Greatest
I
Showman.
think.
The most recent. I mean.
Well, I can't remember the first song I ever learned to play, but on the piano, the first song I ever performed, like in front of my school, was 21 Guns by Green Day.
Oh wow!
So that was my first like public.
On your own or in a band?
No, on my own, just
wow.
Solo piano performance.
Was that during
No, this is in primary school.
Oh, okay.
So Josh didn't have the privilege of seeing that. He didn't know me in primary school. But that was fun. I was very nervous. My hands were like shaking. I was
bless
like,
you.
oh my god. And then the last song I played was one of our own songs today. And,
We're not counting your own songs. I want other people's songs that you have learned.
Okay.
Come on now.
Shut down.
Oh man, I can't remember. You know what? I'll give you an interesting one.
Please do.
So
Let's have an interesting
if I'm
one.
gonna not give an accurate answer, I'm gonna give an interesting one.
Okay, give an interesting one.
When we were in high school, I used to play piano, at the school masses. There'd be 1,400 people.
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
school mass, and I would play stripped down versions of North Lane songs.
Wow.
And I would do Singularity and everything like that, and then
I can verify this.
A bit of Quantum Flux, a bit of just everything.
Dispossession as well.
Dispossession. I even did Dispossession, which was a little bit atonal, but I would completely strip it down so people would think it was classical music. And
That's nice. That's a good trick to pull off. I like that a lot.
And it's funny because everyone loved it. The principal loved it,
Yeah.
and they had no idea it was
I
metal.
had no clue.
Amazing. I love that. All right, come on. First song, last song.
Oh, first song I ever learned, man. Oh, this is going way back.
It's tricky.
It is. This is a tricky one. I think it might have been. Now that I'm really thinking, the Smoke on the Water on guitar, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
the standard.
That's just a given. First song to sing actually was like a cover of Queen's "We Will Rock You," but it was done in a different way because in year 6 I did a musical theatre thing, and it was based on King Tutankhamun and Henry Carter and discovering the tomb, and the lyrics were all changed. I wish I could remember it. I'll find the video at some point. But
Musical theatre version of We Will Rock You. I
Mate,
like that.
dude.
a
I
lot.
love musical theatre.
Oh,
gets me right
Join
in the
the
feels.
club, man. Join the club. Dream musical role. Come on. You've got the pipes for it. Come on.
I'll give it a crack.
Any one you'd want to be in? Come on. If they turned around to you tomorrow and said, "Come on, you're gonna be in the West End," what are you going for?
I saw Brendan Urie doing Kinky Boots, man.
Right.
And Kinky Boots looks fun. I like high heels. I reckon I could rock some high heels.
I think you could take on that.
I do it on
can see
Wednesdays.
that. Yeah, there it is. On Wednesdays, we wear high heels. All right, okay, let's do the mini mixtape then. All right, so these are 10 songs that you would fit in on your own mixtape. I'm going to give you scenarios. You just pick the song, all right? Yeah. First one, song you'd nail at karaoke.
Radio Gaga by Queen.
Very good choice. Yes! Very good choice. With and actions, I hope. Yeah?
Nice.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, good stuff. Let's go with barbecue banger. What song would you play at a barbecue?
Oh, AC/DC Thunderstruck.
Oh, that is a fantastic choice, actually. I get that.
Man, that's a
That's
barbecue
fantastic.
banger. Aussie
That
right
really
there.
is. All right, dance floor filler. Let's do it.
I want to dance with somebody.
These are great. This is good. Right, this is already going to be the best plays we've had so far. All right, the song you want played at your wedding, Josh. Which one?
Bet on It by High School Musical.
I feel like if that's going to be your wedding dance as well, that has to be a solo effort,
Dude,
though.
we
Bless.
did a dance in high school, actually. A whole choreographed, full-on thing, the red jackets, the whole shebang.
I am going to make it my journalistic duty to find video footage.
Please
of that
do. We're
performance
trying
from
to.
now
We're
on.
trying to find
Please
it
do. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Boy band anthem.
Boy band anthem. Oh gosh, it's got to be "Kiss Me" by One Direction.
A modern choice. I like that. We normally get 90s choices. That's a very good one. Hey, 1D, amazing. The one that would make you do an air guitar solo.
The Eagles, Hotel California.
Very long, and I like it. That's
Yeah,
a good
good,
one.
mate, it's great.
It is a great tune. Song to play on a gym treadmill.
Yeah, this is
Oh man. Oh well, I've got a new one that I'm going to pump in the gym.
Done, bro.
2 days ago. No, this is The Outfield by The Night Game.
Yes!
It is like the best tune
It's so
ever.
good.
I only discovered it, by our videographer Chris. He's just like, dude, check out this song. I'm like, I will, and I love it.
It is a bang.
Amazing.
It is the treadmill song.
There we
Treadmill
go.
songs.
Runners out there, take note. Very, very good. The song you'd have a little cry to.
Oh.
Not more High School Musical, please.
Yeah.
Oh, Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved.
Ooh.
I could have a little cry to that one.
No, that's a weepy pop track.
It is,
I like
man.
that.
It is. It gets me out in the feels.
That's all right. If it was the movie of your life, what's playing in the closing credits? And not one of your own songs. We're not having that yet.
almost answered for you.
Oh, dude. It's got to be a Greatest Showman song.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is the greatest show.
This is me to finish the movie of your life.
Of course.
I really like that as a choice. All right,
great.
last one. You can do this one together. Pick one of your own songs you want to finish off your mixtape with. One of your own songs you'd like people to hear.
Oh, we've just released Summer as a Curse.
Very true.
That is a great banger. But I've got a soft spot for Saints for the Sinners, man.
It's a big tune.
It's going to be relevant to us through our entire journey. What about you, mate?
I want people to hear Make Believe, which is a song we haven't
Yeah.
released yet. We've been sort of like hinting around at it.
It's my
for a
favourite
while
one, if
now.
that means anything.
Yeah.
It really is. That's a very good tune.
We've been really
yeah.
evil with that.
We
haven't
have been, but we're giving it out at tours. Like,
Yeah.
you can come get it at our shows through our download cards.
You
We're
can.
being a little bit evil like
There you
that, so you got to come down and get it. But I really want people to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. The Faim's Mini Mixtape. Check out on Spotify now. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Don't forget, guys, go and check out that mini mixtape right now over on our Spotify page. Go on Spotify, search for Rock Sound, and click subscribe on Mini Mixtape. That will be changing with a different guest's musical choices every single week, so do keep checking back there. That's about it for this week, guys. Thank you very much once again to my guests, Alex Gaskarth of All Time Low, Patty and Ben from As It Is, and Josh and Stephen from The Faim. We will be back with a brand new episode next week, so do go ahead and subscribe over on SoundCloud, over on iTunes, over on Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. I have been James Wilson Taylor, and we will see you next week.